Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Tim Alvarez. He is the president of the Oregon Home Builders Association. And if the name sounds familiar, he's also, of course, got to start in the family business, Alvarez Restoration and Construction right here in the Valley. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming down.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, obviously, as I mentioned, you're a Rogue Valley local. Now you're heading up this major statewide group. How did you come into this leadership role?
I started it with Basso down here, the local group, and about 3 years into it, was encouraged to go to the state level. Went up there and I found it very interesting. Everything we do from codes to government affairs, it was just like a real eye-opening experience for me. Just all the things that happen at the state level that affect us here locally.
Yeah, and the Builders Association of Southern Oregon, I imagine, is part of like maybe the chapters of,
it's like a federation.
A decent way of describing it, thanks. So obviously you're very involved in what happened in Salem this legislative session. Housing, major priority for I think probably every county. Where are we at with that? Was there any positives that came out of the session?
Quite a few, actually. For the first time since the 70s, we're actually building some policies that are actually pro-building, pro-getting land out there to kind of help the supply and demand, which would hopefully drive down costs eventually.
Okay, and are there any particular bills that you think might make a difference in getting more construction started?
You know, actually with the Alameda fires, we passed a bill where you can build the house back to the code it was initially built at, plus health and safety, which made building back the fires in Phoenix and Talent so much less expensive because you didn't have to bring everything up to current day code, which beforehand, if a house caught on fire, you'd be insured for what you had and you had to build a better house. And so to drive down the cost and be able to build it back to health and safety instead of adding every single recent code helped a bunch with getting Phoenix and Talent rebuilt because we're almost done, right? If not done. And you have Paradise that still 10% of the way there. You know, our state was very friendly to the builders and the community and helping us get that project fixed.
Wow, that's great to hear from obviously an expert like yourself. So where do we go from here as far as state rules and regulations? One of the great pastimes, if you will, in the newsroom is, you know, there's thousands of bills that come up every legislative session. Some of them can be pretty wacky, but I'm sure there are maybe hundreds of bills that your organization is looking at that you think could help build in Oregon. Is that stuff you're bringing back to the next session?
We absolutely are. Our group, right now, affordable housing is nonpartisan, right? So whether you're from the far left, far right, middle, or anywhere in between, we all care about it. And it's not even like a geographical thing, because the cities need affordable housing and the rural needs affordable housing. So we're actually being able to work collaboratively, both sides across the aisle, to actually promote affordable housing, and we're actually hearing each other's ideas. Because at the end of the day, one idea, not tempered with another idea, sometimes goes too far. And so we're kind of collaborating to build some good policies to hopefully start turning our state back to affordable housing.
Well, 2024, I love to hear that two sides can get along. So that's a great thing to hear. Anyway, we can go all day with that, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more with Tim in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Tim Alvarez, the president of the Oregon Home Builders Association. We're talking about obviously how much you were able to learn and how much your organization was able to influence the legislative session in Salem this spring. You're coming back next year. How is that an advantage for you to be in your kind of second year as president?
Yeah, so me finishing up my second year this year, this year's been way more productive than the first year. It was a long session my first year as president, and our CEO was nonstop, Jody, working from sun up to sundown for the 4 months of long session. This year with short session, we've been able to do a lot of things with the organization, kind of restructure some things. We've been able to start a rotation of the state president to where like Southern Oregon is represented 2 out of every 6 years at the state level, which is a great thing. Travis Snyder from Snyder Creek and Precision Electric, he'll be the next Southern Oregon president, and he's very involved with the government affairs, and he finds it very passionate. And then we have another guy, Garrett West, who's actually running for city council down here, who's a land use lawyer who volunteers on so many committees. He's doing a Zoom twice a month just to help pushing affordable legislation, you know, for our state.
Well, certainly with 2 years, you know, that's great that you have that time, and obviously with the population differences between the Portland area and us, it's good to have representation on this powerful board. What about construction? Just the broad Southern Oregon situation right now. Obviously your family business has been involved locally for some time. We had a lot of people leaving our region to take construction jobs up north. 2007, 2008 with the recession there. What's the situation today? Is it back to normal?
Yeah, I think so. I think the culture has changed to where like people want to be in the trades. I think at one point it was like the Black Death. Don't do the trades. You're never going to do not enough work. You're going to starve. But now, I mean, there's so many. I know so many high school kids in recent years who have started their own little construction company, and they're doing quite well. Learning a trade and being able to take that into the world to build, which we need builders. It's helpful, and people are actually making a good living at it. Okay. So it's very encouraging.
Well, it's great to hear both that and what's going on at the state level with you guys. Thanks so much for coming by. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.